Anthony Scaramucci has been fired by President Trump. After just about 10 days of service as communications director, Anthony Scaramucci is out. He has been fired. Now, reportedly, I'm hearing a bunch of sources say that this decision came from new Chief of Staff John Kelly. Remember, Anthony Scaramucci got his job about 10 days ago, and only a couple days ago, that's when Reince Priebus was removed as Chief of Staff and replaced by John Kelly. And reportedly, again, these are just based on reports that say that John Kelly wanted him, Scaramucci, gone. And also I saw a report on CNN that said John Kelly wanted a fresh start. So we're just getting this information now. This is Steve Lookner. If you have any comments on this, I'd love to hear what you think about this. When I first saw this, I was just stunned. So I don't know what you think about it, but would love to hear about it, what your thoughts on the matter. So write to me if you have comments. I'm happy to read them on the air. I am at Lookner on Twitter, at Lookner. Give me a shout. Let me know what you're thinking on this. And what I'm going to do is try to get you some up-to-date information. Let me show you real quick here the New York Times story for those of you who haven't seen it. This was the first story that broke it, the first story I saw about it. And let me just make sure you can hear me, by the way. Saw this. You can hear me. That's good. Oh, can you hear me? Got it, but wonderful. Great. This is the New York Times story. Trump removes Anthony Scaramucci from communications director role. And it says, it's a very short story, but some relevant details here I want to point out to you. At the bottom there, the decision to remove Scaramucci came at Mr. Kelly's request, Chief of Staff John Kelly. Mr. Kelly made it clear to members of the White House staff at a meeting Monday morning that he is in charge. It was not clear whether Scaramucci will remain employed at the White House in another position or will leave altogether. So if this is true, we don't know if he's still going to be there in some capacity. Will he just be out and go? So we've heard some stories about this, but you can't be sure. This is some initial reporting. I'm taking everything we hear right now with a grain of salt. But we have heard a number of sources say, NBC News reported as well, that Scaramucci is out as communications director. Pretty stunning. And, I guess it certainly seems that the reporting done that this was Kelly's choice. Now, I guess there's some possibility of that because Kelly only became chief of staff 2 days ago. So maybe, I guess. Though it's pretty surprising though that this would happen so fast, only 10 days after Scaramucci got the job. But maybe him and Kelly had some issues, or another possibility is that Kelly or President Trump or a lot of people were upset about Scaramucci's profanity he used in that interview a couple of days ago. Maybe more upset than was let on, and maybe it could be using the John Kelly wants a clean slate excuse as a reason to get rid of him because they were really unhappy with that. Or there could be other reasons. As I said when Reince Priebus got removed, when somebody gets removed, there's so many things it could be. It could be a bunch of factors we just don't know unless you were there. So, but I'd love to hear what you think about this. So write to me at Lookner on Twitter, at Lookner, if you have any thoughts on this event. And by the way, hello to everybody watching on Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook or if you're watching on YouTube, just know I really can't see the comments you make in the chat. I can see them in the chat room like as they fly by fast. But if you want to ask a question or say have a comment said on the air, the best thing to do is reach out to me on Twitter or email, because otherwise the chat rooms just keep going by so fast. I usually don't have the time to see your chats, see your posts in the chat room. So the best way to reach me is to reach out to me on Twitter. That's the best way. Let's see here. So, and I also want to see if I can get you any more up-to-date information on this. Let me see if anybody has messaged me so far. A nurse from hell writes in, probably a good idea. My take was, why did he even call a reporter and reveal all that info? Let's see Roger Stone step in. That would be interesting if Roger Stone stepped in. I can't imagine that will happen, but thank you for the message. And you're saying, a nurse from hell, you think it was not a good idea for Scaramucci to have called Ryan Lizard from the New Yorker and said all those things and not have them be off the record and have that get out there. That's what you're saying. Alesso writes in, I'm okay with this. I still don't believe Reince was a leaker. He stood by the president through the election when times were tough. That's from Alesso. Kofeve says, I heard resigned, I don't know. So there is. We don't know. I mean, this story here in the New York Times says Trump removes Anthony Scaramucci. Will we hear he resigned at some point? I don't know. I'm guessing he was forced out either way. Isaac Barry writes, and I liked Scaramucci, but he hurt himself and the president with the cursing. SH7401 says, did he get fired or resigned? The reports I've seen, like the New York Times one right here, says he got removed, so which means fired. And again, so this story says he was fired right here. This says he was fired. Now, it might come out later that some people say resigned, but it seems like even if they say resigned, he would have been forced out. The reports are that I saw reports on CNN as well saying Kelly chose to remove him. So it seems he was fired, at least from the reporting we're hearing right now. Linda says, we need a fresh start. Bannon has to go. Trump is losing ground in important states. Got to get his S together. That's from Linda. NY Mike 2S says, stunned also and disappointed. Really smart guy, liked his style, gave up his business, chance of a lifetime. His wife leaving him for it. Now this. Yeah, you might go. A lot of interesting points there, NY Mike 2S. Let me say one other thing too. This is what I could see someone saying, oh my gosh, President Trump keeps firing people. But there is a school of thought somebody else might say, and I remember hearing this. I've heard people say this in the past. They'll say something like, a different way of looking at it is, President Trump is used to running a business. Like, this is the same thing when he fired Sally Yates. I remember we talked about this. And he's used to running a business, and some people who run their businesses, they don't have a problem firing people. They feel if they feel that the person's not doing the job or the person's not appropriate for the office anymore, they fire them. Now, granted, among presidents, you usually don't see people come and go this fast, but certainly there are businesses where people come and go. I mean, this is fast, but, I do think that perhaps President Trump, with his background in business and the way he's run his businesses, maybe he has less of a problem firing people quickly than, say, some typical politicians would. So, it's something to keep in mind. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just throwing this out there as a possibility. Isaac Barry said, do I think Reince was a leaker? Isaac, I have no idea. I have no way of judging whether he was or he wasn't, because I don't have information as to whether who these reporters were getting their stories from. Epsilon A1 says, Priebus did not stand beside Trump. And he sent me a tweet from Kyle Griffin that says, Priebus advised the Trump to drop out after the Access Hollywood tape. I might as well just show this to you. Sorry. So this was a message from our viewer, Epsilon A01. Hold on, I'll get it up there for you. Epsilon A01 said Priebus did not stand beside Trump, and his argument, his justification for saying this is that this post by Kyle Griffin, which is a story which says Priebus asked the candidate to get out of the race. Now, maybe someone could say, well, once President Trump was president, he stood by him. I don't know. So, anyways, that's for you guys to debate if you'd like. Let me go back to me here real quick. See if I can get you some more information. And we're reading your messages too. Mark Serenidis says, I think it was Scaramucci's public vulgarity that did him in. So a number of you seem to think that this article that came out a couple days ago, where Scaramucci used a lot of foul language, you think that might have played a big role in this. Some of you do. I have a message here from Noreen Sanderson. Noreen Sanderson says, from the White House press secretary, Anthony Scaramucci will be leaving his role as White House communications director. Mr. Scaramucci felt it was best to give Chief of Staff John Kelly a clean slate and the ability to build his own team. We wish him all the best. So this message from the White House press secretary, thank you, Noreen Sanderson, suggested Scaramucci left to give a clean slate, but we have reporting that says he was fired. To me, even if he left, it seems like technically he was probably forced out. That's my guess. So I'm going to leave the Scaramucci fired up there for now because that was the original report. I understand some people might think he resigned or there might be questions about it. We've reported it. So I won't get into a whole, did he or didn't he, but we'll give you the full information that we hear. How about that? As we get it in, we'll let you know it. So thank you, Noreen, for that statement. I'd like to hear, where is that? Let's see if I can find that statement and show it to you. If there's like an official, they officially published it or something. Here's the White House statement. Let me show you guys. Hold on one second. I'm just getting it on the screen right now. Here we go. This is the White House statement. Thank you, Noreen, for letting me know. Anthony Scaramucci will be leaving his role as the White House Communications Director. Mr. Scaramucci felt it was best to give Chief of Staff John Kelly a clean slate and the ability to build his own team. We wish him all the best. So that is a statement. And I'm just going to retweet that for people who haven't seen it and might not be watching the broadcast. So hold on one second here real quick while I just retweet this. Okay. What do you think about this? Give me a shout on Twitter. Let me know. @Lookner, @Lookner. Would love to know what you think about this. There's supposed to be a White House press briefing coming up in 17 minutes. We're going to bring it to you live. That's going to be on another feed here at Right Side Broadcasting, another window. So you can open up the window to get that. If you want to know where that is, you can go to Right Side Broadcasting on YouTube and find it there. But we're going to keep this stream open to talk about the Scaramucci story for the people who want to focus on that. And I know a bunch of you are watching maybe on two windows. President Trump is giving out the Medal of Honor right now, which is an important event, and we're covering that as well on YouTube. So if you want to follow that as well as this, go to Right Side Broadcasting on YouTube and open up that window too. So much happening today. All right, let's see if we can get you some more updates about this story. Nancy Mash writes in, I wonder if Anthony's wife will reconsider divorce. William Heritage says, what did Scaramucci bring to the White House anyway? Why was he brought on? That's from William Heritage. So I want to say also, we are, in addition to the stuff going on today, all this stuff, we are going to be at the rally on Thursday. President Trump is having a rally in West Virginia on Thursday. We are going to be there covering it. I'm leaving to travel to West Virginia on Wednesday. Maggie Howell will be traveling there on Wednesday. So we look forward to bringing you the full day coverage of the rally, all the speakers, uncut speeches, hours of interviews with rally attendees, the sights and sounds of the rally, outside, inside. But it does cost money to go. We've been making travel plans all week. We've been buying cheap plane tickets, but I had to buy plane tickets, rent a car, Airbnb, pay for the internet at the venue. So all these expenses, and we just had the expenses last week from covering that one. So if you'd like to help us out cover the rally, we'd really appreciate it. If you would like to donate, you can go to rsbn.tv/donate, rsbn.tv/donate, or you can donate in the YouTube chat room right next to this broadcast. There's a YouTube chat room. You can go to the bottom of the chat room, click the $sign, and donate by clicking on the $sign. And thank you to the moderators for moderating the chat, by the way. And your donations. Just so you know, we are maybe some of you haven't watched Right Side before and you're watching for this news coverage. We're viewer supported. We are entirely viewer supported. Your donations keep us on the air. So if you like having an alternative to the mainstream media for your news coverage, that's another reason to donate too and help us stay on the air. rsbn.tv/donate or click on the $sign in the YouTube chat room. And if you want to write in about the Scaramucci story, we're taking your comments. A lot of interesting feedback from you guys so far. Would really like to hear what you think. Write to me at @Lookner on Twitter, @LOOKNER. Nancy Mash says he was a little off the edge, sorry. Major Deplorable says, it's good Trump is following his instincts. He wants to MAGA. Gonna be changing, unlike Obama, who preferred America to fail. Feel free to follow me on Twitter, by the way, because I cover a lot of breaking news stuff, and follow Right Side Broadcasting at @RSB Network, @RSB Network. And if you're watching on Facebook, we love it if you share the videos, because when you share the videos, it lets other people know about Right Side Broadcasting. All right, I want to try to get you some updates here about Scaramucci, if I can find any more. This is new from Breaking 911. News story. Check. This is from CBS News. Let me show you this one. New news. Well, new little detail here. Scaramucci was escorted from the White House today after being fired. That's according to CBS News. And this says fired. Scaramucci was escorted from the White House today after being fired. So that is happening. There's a little news for you. Also, I'll have to talk about this later. There were just some new sanctions announced on by the Treasury Department on Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, but that's a different story. So it's a big story, but we'll talk about that later. We're keeping our focus right now, trying to get some more information about the Scaramucci story and taking your comments. Let's see. Okay, I caught up with your comments there. What a wild story in the sense of very unanticipated. I did not anticipate hearing this news today. Now, when they escort people off, I mean, it's common for a lot of jobs, if you leave or if you get fired or you're leaving or whatever, they don't want you to the policies, they don't want you touching anything there, like the computers or anything. So they just escort you off out of the workplace or whatever. So that's something that happens at other jobs too. But I don't want to read into that, because I could say, well, if he was escorted off, maybe that means he didn't know until today this was going to happen. But maybe he did know and he came in to get some stuff and then they escorted him in, they escorted him out. So I don't know. Trying to get some more details here. Seeing some reporting here from Elizabeth Landers. Let me show you what she posted about this. Source close to John Kelly tells me John Kelly is in charge now. This person said that Kelly clearly had no confidence in him, was not pleased with Mooch antics last week. I'll retweet that because that's potentially relevant information. A little more from a source close to Kelly. Scaramucci is a very different employee than what Kelly would tolerate working with. So that reportedly is from somebody close to Kelly. Take everything with a grain of salt, but just showing you some of the information I'm seeing here. But I'd also love to know what you think. Write to me at Lookner on Twitter, at LOOKNER. I can't tell what you guys think about this. People, I guess, the feedback we've gotten on the air so far has seemed, I think, a little more positive than I thought. Largely, people have had positive feedback about this. A number of you have said it's okay that he's leaving or that he got fired. You know, a number of you didn't like his language he used in that article. So I guess I thought maybe people would be more upset about it. But I mean, it's not a scientific sample, and also I don't know. That's why I asked. So I'm sure people have different opinions out there about this. But let me know what you think about this. I'll read your comment on the air. NY Mike 2S not liking that he was escorted. Yeah, NY Mike 2S says he's not liking that he was escorted out. Well, it could literally just be their policy that when an employee gets removed, it might literally just be the policy of that workplace that they have to be escorted out. I mean, that could just be the policy there. Sharon says, I don't know what to think at this point. My jaw dropped open when I heard news of Mooch. What is your opinion? Well, it's hard to say. I'll just say this. I mean, I don't have a strong opinion right now because I feel like we don't really know all the details. One thing, and this isn't really a big insightful observation, but in theory, it's not ideal to have somebody only come in for 10 days. Because even if it was the right choice when he was hired, it was right choice to fire him, it does benefit the White House to present itself as a stable place and not unstable. And, even if President Trump had legitimate reasons for both hiring and firing Scaramucci, his critics will be able to say now, oh, see, it's all crazy there and disorganized and he hires and fires people. And I don't think just on its own, having somebody come in for 10 days and firing them doesn't help President Trump get his agenda moving forward. So that in itself is, regardless of whether you think the hiring was good or bad or the firing was good or bad, the bare fact of having somebody for 10 days won't be helpful in getting the agenda moving forward, at least in the short term, because it will allow critics to say they're disorganized over there. But so that's just one thought I have. But that's not really a big insight or anything. It's just a thought I have. But in terms of whether he should have been fired or not, it's so hard to say, given that we don't know. Was there some big blow up between him and John Kelly that we don't know about? Is there some history between them two? We don't know about that. So it's here's where it gets a little confusing though. So supposedly Priebus being removed was being worked on for a couple weeks. So I guess where it gets a little funky is, if Scaramucci was hired with it being known that Priebus was going to soon be removed, you'd like to think that they would, whoever they're going to bring in to replace Priebus would be informed about Scaramucci being hired in advance, so that there wouldn't be a conflict between that person and Scaramucci when that person was brought in. Does that make sense? My point is, they could have waited to hire Scaramucci or a different communications director until they've brought in a chief of staff. So if there was going to be a conflict between the chief of staff and Scaramucci, it seems like maybe that could have been figured out beforehand, because it just doesn't look great to have somebody working there for 10 days. No matter what you think of it, for a lot of people, it won't look good. So it feels like maybe there could have been a way to avoid that, but maybe there wasn't. Maybe something happened in the last couple of days. Maybe it's really all about this article that came out after Scaramucci got hired. It could be a lot about that. So hard to say. Jerry OOG, very kind of you. You gave a donation on our other stream. Excuse me. That's your second donation today. Jerry OOG just gave $10. That's so kind of you, Jerry. Thank you so much. And we will use that money to go to the President Trump's rally on Thursday in West Virginia. In Huntington, West Virginia, he's having a rally. We will be covering it. Sorry, let me go full for a second here. We will be covering President Trump's rally on Thursday in West Virginia. Full day of coverage, all the speakers uncut, hours and hours of interviews starting just early in the afternoon, post show, and but it does cost money to go. So if you'd like to help us go there and cover it, like as Jerry just did, go to rsbn.tv/donate, rsbn.tv/donate, or you can click on the $ at the bottom of the YouTube chat room. At the bottom of the chat, there's a $. Click on that to donate. And yeah, we love covering the rallies for you and bringing you coverage like no one else does. These days, CNN and MSNBC don't even show President Trump speeches at the rallies. But we cover the whole thing all day long. And but it does cost money to go. So we're really excited President Trump is doing more rallies. It's going to be a second one in 2 weeks. But it does increase our expenses. And we are viewer supported. You do keep us on the air. Thanks to you is how we can stay on the air. So any donations are really appreciated. Okay, we are covering right now this Scaramucci story, and I gotta keep an eye. I have a TV on in the background. So there's supposed to be a White House press briefing soon, and now the press briefing was supposed to start at 3:45. So I see the room, but they're not there yet. So if you want to watch that as well as this, I'm going to stay on this stream. But I think eventually after the press briefing, I'm going to go on to that stream, if that makes sense. And let me just text Joe that I can do a post show for the briefing. But I'll stay on. I'm going to stay on here, I think, and keep this stream up for a second. Or for the time being, even when the briefing is on, so you can have both on the windows. And maybe I'll listen to the briefing and talk about it as the briefing is going on. I might do that. I might do a little sort of live commentary with you and discussion with you guys about the briefing as it's happening. So much happening right now. Okay, but if you have comments about the Scaramucci story, would love to hear them. What do you think about all of this? Write to me at @Lookner on Twitter. Okie Basis writes, no way a Marine general was bothered by cursing. It was all about optics. Right or wrong, Mooch was bad for PR. That's from Okie Basist. Proud American writes, his language could have been better. Other than that, I enjoyed Scaramucci. Okay, hold on. Sorry, I just need to text Joe because Joe, our CEO, is also producing today, so I have to communicate with him about what's going on. The Rag Daily says Scaramucci's only job was to come in and do a hit job on Reince Priebus. Priebus steps down, job done. That's from the Rag Daily. Interesting theory. Let's see. NY Mike 2S says, I think it would have looked better and been understandable to say for personal reasons, Scaramucci is leaving. You're saying for personal reasons. Maybe it would have looked better. You're saying, because the White House, it seems, the White House said, we have that White House statement from before. Sorry, I'll find that for you. But the White House statement said, I'll show you what it said for those of you who didn't see it. I'll just read it here. It said, Mr. Scaramucci felt it was best to give Chief of Staff John Kelly a clean slate and the ability to build his own team. So you're saying you wish they had said he was leaving for personal reasons. That's from NY Mike 2S. Let me get that story up there while I'm talking. Here we go. Sarah Homan writes in, Trump is running a tight ship. He suffered a lot of blows, but this is a great turning point. Trump train full speed ahead. I will say this about President Trump. You know, there's never a dull moment, and like he is. There is a lot of interest in politics right now, and a lot of interest in his presidency, and it's like always something happening. So there is a lot of attention on the White House as usual. Sorry, I didn't mean, there's a little sound on in the back. I didn't mean to have that happen. Hamfried says, good job getting him out. They got Priebus out because of him, but the Bannon thing was too much. That's from Hamfried. You're saying what he did about Bannon, Hamfried, I assume. Cyrus Leone says, so is Hannity going to make a move? Dinner with President Trump last week, maybe Kim Guilfoyle. Interesting theory. Hannity and Kim Guilfoyle both had dinner with President Trump last week at the same time, so you never know, Cyrus. Maybe something will happen there. See if there's any more news coming out about this. I'm just checking my various sources here. Yeah, I'm just trying to get more details about this firing. And I'm not seeing anything much new yet. I'm checking my different sources, but I'll keep checking. If you see anything new detail-wise about the firing, we saw that detail that was being reported that Scaramucci was escorted off the White House property, but that could be their policy there that they have. But if you see anything about this, anything new, let me know on Twitter at Lookner, at Lookner. Would love to hear your thoughts on this too. So if you have any comments on this, what's your opinion about this? Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? What do you think about the fact that Scaramucci only spent 10 days there and was fired? What do you think? Let me know on Twitter at Lookner. Also, feel free to, if you want to know about these kind of breaking news videos whenever we do them, subscribe to us on YouTube and click the notifications bell when you subscribe. That way you'll be kept up to date with all of our videos. You'll get a notification whenever we have a video go on there. And also like and follow us on Facebook. We love when you do that. Let's see. This is Edie Marie Trump. I did not see this comment from April D. Ryan, but she reports. Hold on, I'll show you what Edie Marie sent me. So April Ryan, who's no fan of President Trump, says, a source says Scaramucci said, I don't report to you, and the general said you're gone, and he is. Now, let me say this, however. For all you know, this could have happened a week ago. Because all this says is that this exchange happened. This doesn't say he was fired because of this exchange. So even if it's true that this exchange happened, that doesn't mean that he got fired because of this exchange. So I'd be careful with stuff like this because it's like a source says, but it's an interesting report. Hold on. Thank you for Edie Marie for sending that to me. George Quintero wrote me talking about his new Twitter and Facebook page. Now, George, I can't really say those on the air because then I'll have to say everybody's on the air. But if you want to tell people about your pages, you're welcome to go in the chat room and let people know where they can find you on Facebook or Twitter. Thank you for writing in. This White House press briefing is supposed to start soon. I'm looking at the press room. I see it there, but no Sarah Sanders yet. So you can, again, watch that on right side as well. You can open up two windows. You can have me and you can have the press briefing. NY Mike 2S says, I love Kim Guilfoyle. Calm, smart, gets her point across. Hannity's been going off the rails lately. Like to hear himself talk. So that's a vote for Kim Guilfoyle. Are you saying for communications director? Let me say again real quick, thanks to the moderators for moderating. Much appreciated. And we are viewer supported. We're Right Side Broadcasting. So if you'd like to keep us on the air, and also if you'd like to help us go cover the rally on Thursday in West Virginia, President Trump's rally, we'll be there covering it. Myself and Margaret Howell will both be there. If you'd like to help us cover that and make a donation, we would very much appreciate it. Even small donations are much appreciated. To do so, rsbn.tv/donate, rsbn.tv/donate, or you can click on the dollar sign at the bottom of the YouTube chat room. It does cost a lot of money to cover the rallies because we have to fly there, rent a car, pay for the internet, pay for living quarters. We do it all on the cheapest we can, but it all adds up. So your donations are what allows us to do it, and we appreciate you supporting us. Now, this is an interesting comment from a nurse from hell. A nurse from hell says, Reince Priebus, if Scaramucci said, Reince Priebus, if you want to leak something, he'll be asked to resign very shortly. Major leak. So what a nurse from hell is saying is that she thinks that when Scaramucci said the thing to Ryan Lizza that was reported in the New York article that Reince Priebus was going to resign soon, and he did it just shortly after that article came out. That in itself was a leak, and maybe people were upset about that in the White House. Just seeing if there's more information here, any more reporting on this. Old Guy 1947 says, Trump for communications director. He does it now anyway. That's from Old Guy 1947. Kind of interesting in seeing what is mentioned in the press briefing today about this. I'm sure it'll be asked about. Michael Keith Hughes writes in, Sean Spicer was very prominently displayed at Medal of Honor ceremony. Yeah, because Spicer hasn't officially left yet. So Michael Keith Hughes is wondering, could Spicer be named communications director? I saw some other speculation about this as well. You never know. Maybe Spicer isn't gone yet. A lot of drama going on, personnel drama there. NY Mike 2S says, maybe, but I think I like Kim Guilfoyle more on TV, on Fox. Trump needs someone out there on TV. You're saying you'd rather have Kim Guilfoyle stay at Fox than the White House, NY Mike 2S. P. Tudbury says, Steve, also possible they let out different stories to see who leaks what, identifying the leakers. That's from P. Tudbury. If you have comments, as you can tell, we're reading your comments. Whole range of comments. Some of you are happy about this, about Scaramucci being fired. Some of you are not. We've seen a bunch of different views on this. I'd like to hear your view if you haven't written in yet. At Lookner, at Lookner. Or if you have written in and you have something else to say, write in. Now, this press briefing that's going to start soon was supposed to start at 3:45. I wonder if it's going to start a little late just because of all that's been going on. My guess is she's probably, based on past press briefings when stuff like this happens, my guess is Sarah Sanders will come out and make some announcement on it. And then people will ask questions and she'll say, okay, that's enough questions on this. And they'll keep trying to ask questions. And then it'll get kind of frustrating. And then after 20 minutes, the whole thing will be over. That's my prediction about the press briefing. And I'm seeing reported also that Scaramucci had not officially started yet, his official start date. I don't know if that's like when they start technically paying him or something. I'm looking at a new article here, or an updated New York Times article. I can actually refresh it here on the screen. So they updated their article, but what are they saying? I sort of want to make this a little bigger. Let me make it a little bigger. Seeing if there are any more new details that catch my eye. The decision to remove Scaramucci became public as Mr. Kelly began his first day in charge of the White House staff. He told aides gathered in early morning staff meetings that he intended to impose a new sense of order and operational discipline that had been absent under his predecessor. Okay, don't know if that is relevant to the firing or not. Just peeking over these details here. These are just background. You can look. This is the New York Times article if you want to read it. I was just seeing if there's anything like new about today. But I'm not really seeing anything new about today. Anyways, if you hear any new details, let me know. Some of you have sent me in tweets and stuff. Write to me at Lookner on Twitter, at Lookner. Edie Marie Trump says, no White House chaos. President Trump just tweeted this 7 hours ago. Gotta love our president. By the way, what's SC? Maybe it's Supreme Court. So the tweet you're referring to, Edie Marie Trump, I'll show you here. There it is. Let's find that tweet. No, that's not. This is his account. Why can't I find that one? Maybe I skipped it. No. Here it is. Is this it? No. At Real Donald Trump. That's where I was. Why can't I find it? At Real Donald Trump. That says media tweets. No, we just want Real Donald Trump's tweets. There we go. Here we go. It'll be here. There we go. This is the tweet. So the tweet that Edie Marie was referring to was this one. Highest stock market ever. Best economic numbers in years. Unemployment lowest in 17 years. Wages raising. Border secure. SC. I think that's about Gorsuch, Supreme Court. But then he says no White House chaos. And Edie Marie Trump was pointing out that this seems a little like a little bit of chaos today with the. That's what Edie Marie Trump was saying with Scaramucci. Sensible Human says could be Scaramucci wanted to leave after his wife's sudden divorce. Scaramucci fired Priebus. Now he did his job. Thanks, Sensible Human, for writing in. Interesting tweet. This is Arlene sent me this tweet. I'll show you this. This is from Stefan Molyneux. Arlene sent me this one. And Stefan Molyneux writes, say what you will, but the way Scaramucci has been treated is going to make it difficult for the White House to attract quality people. That's according to Stefan Molyneux. Thanks, Arlene, for sending that in. Me Lynn writes, watch how fast they clear out the homeless now. Oh, I'm sorry. That was about Los Angeles getting the Olympics. I'm sorry, I was confused. Alessa says, Scaramucci told CNN on Friday he wouldn't be taking a salary. Oh, you're saying, okay. Because I'd referred to him getting paid. But maybe they need an official start date just for their records, even if they weren't going to pay him, just to have, they need, to have an employee, you have to have a start date. Webster Maven says, you're doing an awesome job, Steve. Thank you, Webster. It's very nice of you. Oh, I see. Thank you, Webster. So, Right Side Broadcasting, I hadn't even known this because I've been on the air. America First with Nick Fuentes is postponed until 5 p.m. Eastern today. So in an hour, Nick Fuentes will come on. You can watch America First with Nick Fuentes. Thank you, Webster. It's very nice of you for letting me know. Yeah, Joe is super busy getting the, he's been producing and he's getting the press briefing on the air. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take about a 45-second break. I'm going to disappear for a second. I'll be right back. What I'm actually going to try doing today, we usually don't do this, but since I'm already on this stream, I think what I'm going to do is during the press briefing, I'm going to listen to it here, and I'm just going to comment on it, and you can write to me. So it'll be sort of like a live stream about the press briefing as the press briefing is streaming, but I just need about 45 seconds here. So I'm going to disappear, but I'm coming right back. Don't go away. I'll be right back.